Okay, so in this next activity, we're creating a rock shape. As you can see, I'm just doing a basic sort of little rock shape there, and my paper will just be like a oblong, which I hope is clearly identifiable as paper. Scissors, well, I don't know, what shall I do? You can come up with your own shapes, use your own artistic talents. Here is my attempt at scissors fitting into this little set of blocks. And look, I'll show you how that looks like scissors. Doesn't it look like scissors? Okay, anyway, we can take the numbers 9 for maximum brightness, and we assume everything else is just 0 minimum brightness. Let's fill that in these squares, and then we can feed that into Python. So here we are. You can use different values. Feel free to get artistic and use highlights and shading and shadow, but I'm just going to keep this nice and simple. Okay, so here we are in the code editor again. We just want to create these 3 images, rock, and that's an image. And these images are defined in quotes with 5 numbers, as there are 5 rows of LEDs, and each of those will be numbers from 0 up to 9. Okay, so we just fill that in for rock, and then it'll make things easier if we just copy that, copy and paste there. So that's paper and scissors. And if we look at our sheet, we can see that we have a 9 here, and then we have a couple of extra 9s on those lines. And for the paper, we have 3 9s across at the beginning and end. Paste that in there, and in the middle we have 9s like that. Copy those across. And for the scissors, we have something horribly complicated, so we've got to be careful what we do here. Looks like that's about right. And then we do that and that. A couple of 9s here and there. And another one at the start. And then on this line we have 3. And on the last line we have 2. There we go. So we could just replace these display shows with rock and paper, and we could even say else, if we put that with the right indent, display show scissors, and that would show us these different images depending on how we oriented the microbit. But what we really want is to have a random choice. So we're going to say, actually, our choices here are between rock, paper, and scissors. And what we really want is when our gesture is shake, then we're going to show a random choice from those choices. Make sure we've got the right number of brackets. And I think that should work. Let's have a go. But, oh, no, it doesn't. So it looks like what we have to do here is say import random, and then it should work. Let's give that a try. You know what, when I tried to video that, it didn't go so well, so I'm just going to show you this version. As you remember, we did have a version of the code where when we turned it left, it showed a rock, and when we turned it right, we had the paper, and the middle bit is the scissors, so that you can see these beautiful pieces of artwork changing from rock on the left to scissors and paper. Now let's see what it looks like when I shook. So I'll start with scissors, shake it. I still got scissors, and still got scissors, still scissors, and still scissors. Finally a rock, and then scissors. I've got a rock, and still a rock. Finally paper. This is paper, and then the rock, and the paper, and the scissors, and scissors, and the paper. And so, yeah, I can shake it. It's just I wasn't getting very random images to start with. And I quite like the way that it sort of goes all fuzzy there, where all the pixels light up as it's choosing between the different random images. That's great.